Hey everybody, got another video here for you. Got a few things to show you. Let me get around the camera here. The nut, it's a fender neck. It's got like a 42 millimeter nut. It's a 12 string paddle head, and it comes with a pre-slotted 6-string nut. God only knows why. So I ordered up Fender Strat / Tele size and shaped bone nut blanks, 2 of them, and I figured out my own string spacing. It basically works out to you get 3 millimeters between the edge of the fingerboard and the outermost string on each side. You've got a run of 2 strings, the string and its octave or match. They're 2 millimeters apart, center to center, and then the runs are separated by 5 millimeters from the center line of one run to the center line of the string on the next run, except for the 2 center runs, which is only 4 millimeters apart. And so I transferred that onto one of the nuts, if the camera will focus. But yeah, see, pencil marks, and the 2 pencil marks at the very outside here mark the end of the nut. This nut is actually like 44.5 millimeters wide or something, and the neck is only 42 or so. So I've got that, and I've got some nut slotting files, and I've got a little pan of ice that you can clamp, that I can clamp to the desk here, and I'm going to cut my own nut slots. And this nut's high anyway, so this should work out much better. And these just came in today. They're the gold locking tail tuners, and I took the spacing and I marked it out on the nut, and I also marked it out on the headstock for the string through ferrules. And there's the ferrules, and I decided I'd go ahead and use the machine hardware for this build. So there's a pair of neck screws with hex head drive and machine inserts, wood inserts, and there's the thumb screw for the swing bar, and that's the pivot screw for the swing bar, and then these are the inserts for the 4 different swing bar positions for the thumb screw. So it's going to be all machine screws and inserts, and getting this all lined up might be a little on the tricky side, but see how it goes. I've also never really cut a nut from blank before, but see how that goes. The files seem to be decent enough. There's not, I'll just kind of like match them as best I can to a set of Ernie Bolt 12 string extra slinks or whatever they are. So yeah, everything is marked out and punched. I've also marked out what the headstock's going to look like. Everything in this center area here is going to be removed, and that's just going to be open so that you could hang it off a hanger. And then headstock won't be quite as long as the blank here, and it's going to have just a, I don't know, it's a tall flat top triangle, a trapezoid. And I got the neck marked out, all the spine, and yeah, the camera's not focusing, but yeah, trust me, it's there. Got that, and the heels marked out, and yeah, so it's all there. I've even gone so far as I've already marked out and punched the hole for the end of the swing bar. The cedar is very lightweight, and I marked out the pivot screw point for the, yeah, so everything, the tuners, just a spot where the saddle line is. That way, even after finishing and everything, because it'll probably end up having a floating bridge. So, and it doesn't look like any neck shims are going to be required. I can just adjust the height of the bridge to whatever's required. So yeah, everything is all ready to go for drilling, and I've actually got the drill all dug out and set up, and that's next. So I mic'd out all the parts and figured out the sizes for all the holes, and how deep to make the inserts and the grommets and stuff like that, and dug out all the drills. And to avoid tear out, I'm going to be going from both sides on stuff like the string through grommet holes and the tuners. And the plan there is I'll start with the second smallest and a twist drill bit just to get a hole going all the way through, and then I can come in from both sides with either a Forstner or a brad point. Yeah, I just recently picked up a set of brad points. They're pretty cheap but competitive with twist and seem to work nicer. You get a straighter kind of situation. These things can drift on you, and these can't either. These, if you can get it in the size that you need, because they tend to be bigger, these they don't clog as easy as these do with cutout shavings. Looks like the truss rod extends underneath this hole, so I might end up having to grind the bottom off of this thing and also off of the machine bolt that goes in here. So good thing I have a bench grinder. Okay, these grommet holes are pretty much right on line for straight string pull through, but they are so close together that I'm going to have to actually grind say this was a grommet and it's got like this lip on the top. On all the grommets in the middle, I'm going to have to grind this lip off of both edges so that I can get two grommets close enough together. And then on the grommets on the end, I just have to grind one side so it'll fit next to the grommet next to it, and then leave the other side round so it'll still look nice. But yeah, it's going to be tight, and yeah, quality time with the bench grinder there. The frets they've been CNC beveled, and that's it. They haven't been filed, rounded, sanded, anything. Yeah, all these things you can see, maybe, if the thing will focus. The bevel, this is like a telltale sign. It's a single cut that takes the end off of the fret and puts a chamfer on the fingerboard at the same time. And it's almost guaranteed to be either CNC or they're taking it up against a huge sanding belt and just going bzzzt, and that's it as far as fretwork goes. So this thing's going to need a little TLC before it's ready to rock in a serious way. But also up here, if you see this line just above the holes, that's where originally I was going to put the cutout all the way down to there, but that's no beef at all left. So this second line up here, up another 10 mil, that's where I'm going to end this cutout here. So that there's a fair amount of beef all around these holes in order to help support everything. And the wood in here between these is so thin that there might get some tear out when I actually start driving grommets in there, but have to see how it goes. Other than that, I've noticed that the cedar is super lightweight, super soft, super stiff too, actually. It's so soft that you got to be careful when you're marking on it with a pencil, because you'll leave dents in the wood if you press too hard. So it's really soft. I mean, of course, if I had fingernails, I could easily dig into this stuff with a fingernail, no problem. So yeah, got to be gentle. Once it gets some clear coat on it, it'll make it a little bit more durable. But yeah, very soft, very easy to work, very easy to drill, very easy to sand. I was actually afraid to take an electric palm sander to this thing for fear it would cut through too quick. And so I just did the whole thing up by hand with 60 grit. I suspect that this wood is gonna raise grain a lot when it gets wet from dye or paint or whatever. So yeah, definitely want to raise the grain and sand back on this stuff, I suspect. Have to wait and see until it goes into the paint shop to know for sure, but yeah, definitely a nice material. And based on like the specific stiffness and density and things like this, it ought to make a good sounding guitar. It's an alternate tone wood in acoustics. Yeah, in fact, I think I might have an acoustic with a cedar body. I don't know. I'd have to check. Yeah, actually, I think I do. So I'm going to save all this cutoff here from the headstock for the stain tests, because I'm going to try to either match this neck to the body color, or I'm going to try to find some color that complements the body color. Okay, I forgot to plane it down to 20 millimeters before I started hogging out the excess material with the angle grinder. That's what was going on there. So I planed it down. First I hogged it out some, then I planed it down, and then I remarked it for the spine and the triangular heel, and then I went back to hogging down the material again. And then I I planed it down. I hogged it at first, then I planed it down, remarked it, used the Shinto to finish planing it. Once I got it all down, then I remarked it, and then I used the grinder again to hog down even more material off, mostly off the shoulders here, and then I finished up with the Shinto, and then I block sanded. And the camera battery was pretty much dead. So dead it wouldn't even show me what I was filming, so I stopped filming for a while. But all the sanding is done, and yeah, the neck is all shaped and sanded and ready for the paint shop, pretty much. I also did just 60 grit on the ends of the frets, and they're good. They don't need anything else. They don't even need filing. I was able to, I started with a block actually. Kind of this kind of a thing. Just go with the bevel and just kind of knocking it down. I tried not to get over the tops any more than necessary. So I started this way, then I'd feel where it was rough, and then by the end I was doing this kind of a thing, where I'd wad it all up kind of like that, and I'd go like that in order to knock off the very bottoms and the very top edges. But yeah, I mean, this thing feels like it's already been filed, and yeah, it feels like the ends have been fully dressed with files, at least files, if not better. Files and then rolling. So, and that also at the same time did roll the fretboard edge a little bit more. So I think that's going to do it for the fret work. All I got to do now is just like, fret erasers and then polish kind of a thing. So the only thing left on the neck is I got to put the inserts in, and this one probably needs to be drilled deeper. And this one probably won't go any deeper, and Yeah. I just hope it's going to be deep enough. So, yeah, I guess drilling this hole again would be next. Well, I'm pleased so far. It looks very cool. Got it all nice and blended in here and stuff like that. And I managed to maintain the volute, which I was trying to do. But at the same time, I made it so that this part up here is very smooth and sculpted for when you're doing your E chords and the full bar E chords type of thing. Your majors and your minors and your sevenths and things like that. Or basically any chord, your C's and that kind of stuff too. So yeah, the neck is almost ready to go. I gotta drill one hole. And that's it. I don't know, this one here, man, that looks kind of hopeless. It's just way too shallow. That's okay. This one's okay. But this here, there's just no way. I'm probably going to have to end up using a regular neck screw kind of a thing. Okay, I think that's going to do it for this video. So, until the next one, everybody, have a good one.